외국어, 특히 영어를 가장 빠르게 익히는 방법은 영어를 많이 듣고 따라하는 겁니다. 오늘도 물 흐르듯 듣고 되뇌어 보세요. 구독과 좋아요는 저에게 큰 힘이 됩니다. 그럼 시작합니다.
현재 환율은 얼마입니까?
What is the current exchange rate? What is the current exchange rate? What is the current exchange rate?
주식 시장이 침체를 겪고 있습니다.
The stock market is experiencing a downturn. The stock market is experiencing a downturn. The stock market is experiencing a downturn.
인플레이션이 증가하고 있습니다.
Inflation is on the rise. Inflation is on the rise. Inflation is on the rise.
실업률이 감소했습니다.
The unemployment rate has decreased. The unemployment rate has decreased. The unemployment rate has decreased.
GDP 성장률이 높을 것으로 예상됩니다.
The GDP growth is projected to be high. The GDP growth is projected to be high. The GDP growth is projected to be high.
금리가 오르고 있습니다.
Interest rates are going up. Interest rates are going up. Interest rates are going up.
정부는 새로운 경제 정책을 시행하고 있습니다.
The government is implementing new economic policies. The government is implementing new economic policies. The government is implementing new economic policies.
소비자 지출이 증가했습니다.
Consumer spending has increased. Consumer spending has increased. Consumer spending has increased.
많은 회사들이 재정적인 어려움에 직면해 있습니다.
Many companies are facing financial difficulties. Many companies are facing financial difficulties. Many companies are facing financial difficulties.
경제는 수출에 크게 의존하고 있습니다.
The economy is heavily reliant on exports. The economy is heavily reliant on exports. The economy is heavily reliant on exports.
저렴한 가격의 주택에 대한 수요가 높습니다.
There is a high demand for affordable housing. There is a high demand for affordable housing. There is a high demand for affordable housing.
무역 적자가 확대되고 있습니다.
The trade deficit is widening. The trade deficit is widening. The trade deficit is widening.
중앙은행이 프라임 금리를 인상했습니다.
The central bank has raised the prime interest rate. The central bank has raised the prime interest rate. The central bank has raised the prime interest rate.
제조업 부문이 확대되고 있습니다.
The manufacturing sector is expanding. The manufacturing sector is expanding. The manufacturing sector is expanding.
소매업은 치열한 경쟁에 직면해 있습니다.
The retail industry is facing fierce competition. The retail industry is facing fierce competition. The retail industry is facing fierce competition.
회사의 수익이 감소했습니다.
The company's profits have declined. The company's profits have declined. The company's profits have declined.
숙련된 노동자들이 부족합니다.
There is a shortage of skilled workers. There is a shortage of skilled workers. There is a shortage of skilled workers.
경제가 회복될 조짐을 보이고 있습니다.
The economy is showing signs of recovery. The economy is showing signs of recovery. The economy is showing signs of recovery.
정부는 외국인 투자를 촉진하고 있습니다.
The government is promoting foreign investments. The government is promoting foreign investments. The government is promoting foreign investments.
국가 부채가 증가하고 있습니다.
The national debt is increasing. The national debt is increasing. The national debt is increasing.
저는 부동산 투자를 고려하고 있습니다.
I'm considering investing in real estate. I'm considering investing in real estate. I'm considering investing in real estate.
생활비가 오르고 있습니다.
The cost of living is rising. The cost of living is rising. The cost of living is rising.
이 회사는 합병을 거치고 있습니다.
The company is going through a merger. The company is going through a merger. The company is going through a merger.
정부는 세제 개혁을 시행하고 있습니다.
The government is implementing tax reforms. The government is implementing tax reforms. The government is implementing tax reforms.
재생에너지에 대한 수요가 높습니다.
There is a high demand for renewable energy. There is a high demand for renewable energy. There is a high demand for renewable energy.
무역 협정은 경제 성장을 촉진할 것입니다.
The trade agreement will boost economic growth. The trade agreement will boost economic growth. The trade agreement will boost economic growth.
이 회사는 해외 사업을 확장하고 있습니다.
The company is expanding its international operations. The company is expanding its international operations. The company is expanding its international operations.
고용 시장은 경쟁력이 있습니다.
The job market is competitive. The job market is competitive. The job market is competitive.
경제는 기술 혁신에 의해 주도됩니다.
The economy is driven by technological innovation. The economy is driven by technological innovation. The economy is driven by technological innovation.
인플레이션율은 안정적으로 유지되고 있습니다.
The inflation rate remains stable. The inflation rate remains stable. The inflation rate remains stable.
금융 부문은 경제에서 중요한 역할을 합니다.
The financial sector plays a vital role in the economy. The financial sector plays a vital role in the economy. The financial sector plays a vital role in the economy.
예산에 흑자가 있습니다.
There is a surplus in the budget. There is a surplus in the budget. There is a surplus in the budget.
주식시장은 변동성이 큽니다.
The stock market is volatile. The stock market is volatile. The stock market is volatile.
최저임금이 인상되었습니다.
The minimum wage has been increased. The minimum wage has been increased. The minimum wage has been increased.
경제는 관광에 크게 의존하고 있습니다.
The economy relies heavily on tourism. The economy relies heavily on tourism. The economy relies heavily on tourism.
이 나라는 불경기를 겪고 있습니다.
The country is experiencing a recession. The country is experiencing a recession. The country is experiencing a recession.
정부는 중소기업을 장려하고 있습니다.
The government is promoting small businesses. The government is promoting small businesses. The government is promoting small businesses.
환율은 수출에 유리합니다.
The exchange rate is favorable for exports. The exchange rate is favorable for exports. The exchange rate is favorable for exports.
이 회사는 제품 포트폴리오를 다양화하고 있습니다.
The company is diversifying its product portfolio. The company is diversifying its product portfolio. The company is diversifying its product portfolio.
경제 지표는 꾸준한 성장을 가리키고 있습니다.
The economic indicators point to steady growth. The economic indicators point to steady growth. The economic indicators point to steady growth.